What is going on, Dragon Ball fans? Welcome back to another Dragon Ball fan manga breakdown review, where today we're going to be reviewing a brand new Dragon Ball fan manga entitled Dragon Ball Kakumei, which is a Dragon Ball fan manga set within its own timeline following the events of Dragon Ball Super's Tournament of Power, in which for many years now I've been reviewing and introducing all kinds of Dragon Ball fan mangas to the community, in which you guys can find the links to all kinds of awesome Dragon Ball fan mangas down in the description box below. As of course, if you guys have not checked out my previous video to this showcasing Ultra Instinct Goku vs Beerus, then be sure to go on ahead and check that video out, as I will leave a direct link in the description box below, in which we kick off Dragon Ball Kakumei manga chapter number 1, part 2, as we are presented outside of the Grand Priestess Palace at an unknown place. And inside this palace, we get to see how the Grand Priest is sitting on the throne, and standing directly in front of him are the 12 active angels that were present at the Tournament of Power. A very ominous sight indeed, especially with the Grand Priest having to sit there as the angels await to hear his speech. And as the Grand Priest begins his speech, he goes on to state, "I thank you all for your time and presence in this meeting," as all 12 brothers and sisters are in silence as their father begins to speak and saying, "The information that I am about to share with you all is of the utmost importance. It even threatens the balance and neutrality of all universes, and you all must know that both Lord Zenos shouldn't be informed of this situation, lest it cause a major cosmic upheaval," as he basically warns the angels in not uttering a word to the Zenos based on the repercussions that may occur. Whis goes on to ask, "Father, is this related to that mysterious universe that suddenly appeared?" As the Grand Priest replies by saying, "Indeed, the wish made by the mortal Android 17 had far-reaching consequences of a magnitude I could never have predicted. Billions of years ago, there was a nebulous universe that once existed. It was a dangerous entity filled to the brim with malevolent intent. They plotted a co-op against Lord Zeno, claiming that he was too weak-willed to be in charge of all of existence. Given Lord Zeno's violent temperament, my time was limited. I had to act fast before he brought about a genocide. In thus, I took it upon myself to seal the disruptive universe to preserve the peace," which in such, Android 17's wish in the Tournament of Power brought about the restoration of 7 total universes, which for a millennia were either erased or sealed. As most of the other angels are beginning to worry, as the Grand Priest continues in saying, 6 of the universes that Lord Zeno had erased long ago, but now that universe has been restored as well. Universe 19. As Margarita begins to question the Grand Priest and saying, "But father, why did you not tell us about this before?" As the Grand Priest replies by saying, "I couldn't take the risk to give you all this information. I was afraid Lord Zeno would hear about it." And then out of nowhere, we hear how a voice begins to cry out in the darkness and saying, "Or the one you call father could have simply said that he's a coward, that doesn't give a damn about the destruction he's caused or the reason behind it." Everyone is in shock. They hear this voice. It seems to echo throughout the chamber, but nobody knows who it is. As the first thing the angel Mojito does is cry out, "Who are you? And how dare you insult our father like that?" And just as Whis looks on over, he says, "Mojito, do not move an inch." Mojito begins to fire off an attack and saying, "Stop hiding under the shadows and show us your face." As the being in the darkness speaks out and saying, "You haven't changed one bit, Mojito. You're still just as very impulsive and reckless. It's time for somebody to put you in your place." As instantly, without a moment's notice, we see Mojito down on his knees as he cries out, "You son of a," but then instantly the angel of Universe 10 sprints into action, and that's when Vados even says, "No, cuss, duck," as the figurehead behind the shadows lets out an attack so powerful that it causes the Universe 10 angel to smack against one of the pillars. Even Whis at this point cries out to his brothers and sisters and saying, "Stay behind." As most of the angels are getting prepared in battle, we see how Whis notices that this entity is indeed very, very powerful. As we see the energy flaring from Whis' body, there seems to be somewhat of a woman figure standing behind the shadows, and by this, Whis takes charge as the other angels stand behind him, as one of the angels says the energy that's coming out from this individual is similar to that of our father, as another angel replies by saying, "Whis, I have a feeling that even the three of us won't stand a chance against him. And that's when the Grand Priest replies by saying, the Angel Zero has returned. And it looks like in fact this individual is called Angel Zero, but the other angels have officially confirmed that even all three of them are no match for this Angel Zero character. In which the other angels begin to talk amongst each other and saying, an angel, even with the chit chat we must act now. As we see even Vados says, get in position, she is not alone. Not alone? How? Be on guard everyone, they are very, very strong. As we see all of the angels collectively get together, they huddle around and formulating a circle as the Grand Priest orders all of his angels to stand down. But over at Universe 11 and Universe 12, we see how both Jin and Belmont seem to recognize a familiar key, as Belmont goes on to state, I recognize this key, as Jin also says to himself, what's going on up there? And we see back over at the Grand Priest's palace, the Grand Priest looks to be shaken up. And we've never seen the Grand Priest like this before, but something very ominous seems to have affected him during this time, as we get to see unknown individuals begin to appear, and through the darkness, it looks like we have brand new gods having to enter the fray, as one of them cries out and saying, how ironic. Thank you for calming everyone down, dear Grand Priest. Coming back here after such a long time, I can only feel nostalgia. And we see how Vados and Whis begin to talk, as Whis responds by saying, Vados, don't tell me that those are, as Vados replies by saying, the gods of the erased universes. As the other gods begin to speak and saying, oh my, the angels are showing some sort of insight in basically having to mock Whis and Vados in knowing the fact that they know who exactly they are. So it's a very ominous kind of situation in seeing all of these gods appear, because it looks like Whis and Vados alongside the other angels know exactly who they are. As the new gods begin to appear, we have one of the angels named Gambit, who is an angel of Universe 13, as the destroyer of Universe 13, the god of destruction known as Balkan. As Gambit begins to reply and saying, well, it's been a while. As we look on over, we see the angel of Universe 14, Xerxes, and his god of destruction referred to as Dormel. As Xerxes begins to reply by saying, I'm happy to see you all again, my brothers and sisters, while we pan on over to Universe 16 in being introduced to the angel known as Milada and her god of destruction of Universe 16 referred to as Vilspring. As Vilspring begins to laugh and saying, I have a feeling that I slept more than that damn Beerus. As she goes on to reply by saying, Lord Vilspring, we have returned, in which all three of these gods and angels look very ominous as it is, which we later are introduced to the god of destruction and angel of Universe 15, which it is a typo in this manga, and the angel of this particular universe is known as Remtol, and her god of destruction known as Magnak. As she goes on to state, I assure you, she'll heal up soon, Lord Magnak, as he replies by saying, Ramush won't be happy to see Cuss in that state, referring to, of course, Ramush's angel, as we pan to Universe 17 in meeting that angel and destroyer, in which we get to see how the angel of Universe 17 is known as Olros and his god of destruction known as Nysos, in which we look on over and we see how Vados notices something, and she tells Whis, look over there, and we get to see ourselves a very familiar set of feet, and a voice cry out and saying, oh, as yes folks, we are later introduced to the god of destruction of Universe 18, which is none other than Frieza. As Frieza goes on to state, my, greetings, I'm certain that the majority of you don't even know me, but I assure you, my lovely new position as God of Destruction is thanks to Whis' kindness. As the Angel of Universe 18, also known as Twist, goes on to state, do you see now, big brother? This neutrality system will lose you in the end. As Whis goes on to state, Frieza. As we have ourselves a bit of a recap, as Whis goes on to state, I knew you would probably do something evil after I revived you, but I did not expect this. As Frieza goes on to state, well, I have warned you, I can't just stay conquering the Earth over and over and over again. Allow me to explain. My commanders in my army have informed me of this new universe suddenly appearing. Of course, I took this opportunity and started acting fast. And what's better than taking the position of a god of destruction? He clearly wasn't agreeing with the actions of the gods, so I decided to kill him with my own very hands, which confirms the idea that Frieza went to Universe 18, killed that god of destruction, took his position, and of course is now the ruler of Universe 18, in which Frieza later goes on to carry the body of the dead god and saying, his weak power level surprised me for a god of destruction, and we see this dude wrapped around Frieza's tail, he's choking him out, the carcass of this guy just laid out as Frieza continues in saying, that's not important anyways, just to tell you the truth, this is just to make my true goal more easy to achieve, and that is to acquire more power and to gain immortality in order for me to rise to a new level. As Whis cries out, why did you have to go this far? As Frieza replies by saying, oh, so now you regret resurrecting me, huh, Whis? As Whis goes on to state, you are unaware of everything, Frieza. You don't know the kind of terrain that you just ventured into. As Whis continues in saying, well, after all, you're the one who's going to suffer the consequences. And Frieza's beginning to laugh as Whis goes on to say, but tell me this, Frieza, where is Goku? As the Grand Priest replies by saying Goku, as Whis rebuttals in saying yes. It's been a few hours since Goku did his last training session under me, but like usual, I brought him back to Earth. As we have ourselves a flashback of the previous manga chapter with Goku having to leave with Whis, as Whis goes on to state, so, you're happy to be back? As Goku says, of course, but I will totally miss these moments with you. As Whis is like, I mean, we'll meet again, Goku. As Goku replies by saying, also, thank you for the clothes. As Whis replies by saying, you're welcome. Do you want anything else? And Goku's like, Whis, why do you sound like you're worried? As Whis replies by saying, I just feel like there's something wrong in the universe, Goku. Don't worry, it's fine. As they fly off, as Whis goes on to state, I sense a new presence, a powerful force emitting from somewhere that wasn't there before. And Goku's like, hey, can I come and take a quick look, please? I promise I'll be careful. Come on now, just say yes. As Whis goes on to state, Goku, this is the kind of problem that people like you shouldn't have to worry about. After all, a final training session won't be bad for him, of course, but alright, I will keep in touch with you all the way. And Goku's like, yeah, I'll live up to your expectations, thank you, Whis. As they finally end up arriving there, as Whis goes on to state, we're here. I see. It's a very big problem, as both Whis and Goku are observing Universe 19, and it doesn't seem to be pretty. As back at the palace, Whis goes on to state, so I lost contact with him after that, and immediately after, my father summoned us here with great urgency. As one of the angels goes on to state, oh, you're talking about that mortal who arrived screaming like an idiot right inside of our headquarters. Yeah, you don't have to worry about it, we took care of him like we always do. As the other gods begin to laugh and saying, foolish angel. And it's because of this we see Goku located in an unknown area chained together, and we see how he's suffering. This reminds me personally of Kratos, but we see Goku, he's laying down. Something seems to be restraining Goku as he's trying to power up and saying, I'm sorry, Whis. You bastard! Come back! Goku's crying out to somebody because it looks like Goku wasn't just defeated in battle, but he's also being held captive at an unknown area somewhere in the universe. Of course, not specified as to where, but he is being restricted, he is being chained, and there's no way of Goku escaping, which one has to beg the question as to how Goku got here. Now back at the Grand Priest, we get to see how he goes on to state, why are you keeping Son Goku around? He is a mortal far from our level, and doesn't even hold any important information. But then, just as the Grand Priest begins to mention Goku, out of the shadows we see how this individual sticks their hand out and saying, you do realize that this Saiyan has incredible potential within him, and it might be useful for him. As we get to see how one of the coinciding angels goes on to state, what do you seek? As one of the opposing gods goes on to state, the eradication of the divine hierarchy. As Frieza goes on to state, don't forget, the removal of this stupid self-remote neutrality. And the Grand Priest looks back at Frieza and saying, pardon? As one of the rogue angels goes on to state, it's this neutrality that is holding us back so much, and that has led us to obvious conflicts, and it didn't end well. As one of the other receiving female angels goes on to state, and it had a tournament threatening trillions of innocent people. As one of the other angels replies by saying, a tournament that erased the gods but not the angels? Of course referencing the Tournament of Power. As one of the other gods goes on to state, but after all of this, How would you get help from your guides? A war between the gods will commence, and this revolution will take place. Any person, mortal or not, who will be against our ways will not be spared, for the sake of a new world, and for the perfect balance. As we get to see how Marguerite is like, Father, just tell us, who is she? And the Grand Priest finally utters the words and saying, I'm truly sorry for hiding all of this from all of you, but actually, the angel is your mother, and her name is Kansi, the Grand Priestess. As we finally get to see the Divine Mother of all the angels emerge from the darkness, as she goes on to state, it's to be expected that even my own children don't recognize me, given all that I have done for us in the past, of course, as the manga chapter comes to an end. And this signifies a war between the gods because it looks like these rogue gods have an agenda, and that agenda is to destroy the other remaining angels, to destroy the other remaining gods, and of course, most importantly, to get rid of the neutrality, to get rid of Zeno. And I'll be the first one to admit this creates such a unique story in seeing a war among gods, because if you go back to the Bible, this is what the following story reminds me of, the fall of Lucifer, and seeing how Lucifer took down 1/3 of heaven with him in the fall against God. This is exactly what this reminds me of. On the other hand, however, we also see Goku, he's imprisoned, he's chained, and the Grand Priest is trying his best not to allow the angels to start a war, but the other angels and gods that have been erased and now that have come back want war. They're not seeking peace, they're seeking vengeance, and Frieza is among them. So I really enjoyed this manga chapter because it really did kind of go as far as to introduce a brand new story that did not involve Goku or Vegeta, which isn't a bad thing, but gave the spotlight to other angels and other characters that definitely deserved it. But the only question now is, are we going to see the other gods fight? Are we going to see the other angels step in? Is Goku going to unlock an angelic form to keep up with the angels? Anything can happen, but I would like to get your thoughts in the comment section below as to how you guys personally feel about this particular chapter. What are your overall thoughts? What are your overall predictions as to what's to be expected? If you guys have missed out part 1 of Ultra Instinct Goku vs. Beerus, I highly encourage you guys to go on ahead and check that video out. Let me know what you all think down below, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. If you guys are stoked, ready, and excited for more awesome Dragon Ball fan mangas, make sure you guys go on ahead and slap a big fat like down below. If you guys are new to this channel, don't forget to punch that subscribe button, turn on all notifications to be in the loop with more content. Follow me at Twitter at Unreal Gaming, and I'll be seeing each and every single one of you guys down the comment section below. Have a great day, everybody. Peace.
This is the Galactic Emperor of the Universe, and of course I'm here to tell you to subscribe to Unreal Gaming and all his social media platforms. Also, don't forget to turn on notifications so you can be the first to know every time that he uploads a new video.
Oh, did someone say Unreal Gaming? Oh my god.
The fuck, someone? Put on some clothes!
Well, why don't you put on any clothes?
What? I don't need clothes. Jesus Christ, that's huge!